Alright everybody, welcome to a video that has been requested for as long as I have had a YouTube channel. The origin of my username, JasKnightWing. So, the reasoning I never really made this video was because I thought as long as I wanted to go by this alias, I'd keep the reasons to myself. At least, to myself for the most part. I've told a few people here and there. But it's just, some of the reasons are kind of personal. Not as personal as they were. Like, it doesn't affect me as much as it did. If that makes sense. But I just figured, with this channel and everything, I felt it was an appropriate time to, tell the story now. Now, I'm not really planning this video too much in advance, so I didn't sit there and write a huge list. I wrote a few points I'm going to cover. So, there's probably more reasoning in my head, but I'm not giving it too much thought. So, if I ever was to mention it again and be like, oh yeah, part of the reason is also this, and I hadn't mentioned it in this video, don't just think I'm making that up. It's just that I simply blanked on that in that specific moment. So, anyways, the origin. I'm going to start with the word wing, because that's like the easiest one to describe. So, with wing, I chose that as the third part of my name because, for one, JasKnight would be taken on a lot of things, and it didn't sound very complete. I knew when I was making this username, I wanted like a third word in it. And so the reasoning I chose wing is because, I mean, for one, I just kind of like the word, but also, like, if I was able to choose one superpower, you know, like mind reading, walk through walls, anything, I'd probably choose to be able to, like, fly on command. Kinda lame, but kinda cool. And what do you need to fly? Wings. So, I don't know. I've flown in planes a lot in my life. I am blessed to be able to get on the standby list for planes for free. Which results in me being able to fly a lot. Now, obviously, I don't go on vacation too much because, you know, we'd still have to pay for a hotel room and everything. But it gives me and my family more opportunities to travel. And so, because I've flown a plane a lot, you know, I've seen the air. And that's part of the reason why I've always thought, like, having wings and being able to fly would be cool. So that's kind of why I added wing to that. And so the second thing, night. I don't know why I'm doing this backwards, but we're already 3 minutes in, not restarting this, so. There's not too many reasons for that. One is my username before JasKnightWing, like my first Minecraft account. The username was NightSlayer63. Now, it wasn't night as in KN, I just put night, like I slayed in the night, I don't know why. And when I had that username, people would just call me Knight. And I got used to that being, like, part of me, part of my, like, alias, so I knew I wanted to include that in my next username. But the reason I put Knight in there in the first place, even though it was not the same kind of Knight, it was there because it's I believe it's a homophone. Anyways, I like Knights. For one, I like nighttime more, but that's not too relevant because we're talking about, like, medieval knights. Yeah, so I've always found medieval knights to be, like, really cool and interesting, not like completely accurately, but the way they're shown in, like, TV shows or movies, or just how, like, you're told they were. Because I know, at least to my knowledge, that the actual history of them's kind of boring and it was weird or something. But, like, when you see knights in, like, TV shows and stuff, they're usually talking about, like, how heroic and cool they were, and I've always found that kind of interesting. I've always liked history. There was the time about a year ago I was pursuing, like, a future in history. I've, like, ruled that out now, but it's something I may revisit considering, you know, I don't have my future set in stone yet. One thing that's weird about the future is you never really can set it in stone. But anyways, that's about it for that point. So now let's get to the most important part, Jas. Why do I go by Jas? Because that's not my real name. I'm not going to say my real name because I mean, it's not really private. It's just, I don't like throwing it out there nonstop because I want to keep it as private as I can, if that makes sense. I mean, it's like, if you want to know, you just search it. You know, it's out there. But why did I choose Jas of all names? Well, for one, Jas has the first 2 letters as my actual name, but the main reason is Jas is an acronym for my name. Oh, I'm not going to say my name because, like I said, I don't like having it being thrown too much out there. I'm just going to give myself a fake name right here, but if you know my actual name, you can just replace it because, you know, first 2 letters are the same anyway. So let's just say James. And a girl that I was in love with at the time I created the username, who I'd liked for a very long time. I'm not gonna say her actual name because you'd be able to go through my Twitter following and find her. So I'm just gonna say Samantha. No, obviously it's not her actual name, but that's just a name that begins with S. So like Jas was an acronym for like James and Samantha, you know, me and this girl, because I was like obsessed with her for a long time. Not like creepy, like obsessed, like in a weird way. No, I just like she was just she is amazing. I mean, yeah, I had really deep feelings for her, and she meant a lot to me, and I knew her well. And I had a crush on her for like 6 years, and I mean, I don't want to say it's completely gone now. It's dwindled, to say the least, but it's not completely like gone. But I had a crush on her for 6 years before I even asked her out, and then I dated her for a while, a few times. Obviously, nothing has come out of it because, you know, I'd be saying, "Oh, it's my girlfriend" if I was dating her now. I'm not upset about that fact. But I'm just, you know, trying to get the full story out. So the main reasoning for it is Jas is an acronym, but there's some other miscellaneous points that like gave me more reasoning to use this username to go by that name. The other main one is like, I'm sure a lot of you know that I like to write, whether it's like short stories, an actual novel that I've been working on, poems, just quotes, things like that. And it's been this way my entire life. Like last night, I was reading a book, a quote unquote book. It was like 2 pages. It was something I wrote in 2nd grade, and it was the thing that like pretty much took me. Like it made me realize I really enjoyed writing, and ever since then I've been writing a lot. But in 6th grade, I wrote a story, which is over time developed into the actual novel I'm working on now. Hopefully I eventually finish it, but I mean, hey, who knows? Like I said, the future's unpredictable. But the main character in there was named Jasper, and I based them off myself, how like I felt about the world around me and how I was reacting to things and how I imagined I was perceived by others and how I thought about myself and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not necessarily sure, but the character in the book was. So they weren't obviously completely based off me, but just for the most part. And because of that, people in the story just called them Jas as a nickname for short, because, you know, it was like half their name, like a short version of their name, because they're like half the height of everybody else. I don't know, it was weird. But as I wrote that, I just kind of got used to it, and I saw that, and I liked the name, and so I just kind of stuck with it. And I mean, like I said, there's probably a few other reasons, but I want to say that's it for the most part. So yeah, there's the origin of my username. It's not as quote-unquote epic as you may have thought it'd be. I just know that a lot of you have always wanted to know, and I figured now is a good time. So that is the story, I guess. I'm telling you, like, I'm missing something right now. I can't think of it. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Join my Discord if you haven't. I will see you in the next one. Peace.